Alright, basketball fans. Game 4s in the NBA playoffs are often pivotal moments in a series. And the recent Game 4 between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves delivered all the drama you could ask for: intense competition, star power, controversial moments, and a coaching decision that has everyone talking. The Timberwolves ultimately secured a 116-113 victory, taking a commanding 3-1 lead in the first-round series and pushing the Lakers to the brink of elimination. But a major storyline emerging from the game centers on Lakers coach JJ Redick's highly unusual strategy and whether it contributed to his team's late-game struggles. In a decision that has been widely debated and scrutinized, Lakers coach JJ Redick chose to play the exact same 5 players for the entire second half of Game 4 on Sunday. That's right, for all 24 minutes of the third and fourth quarters. The lineup of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Rui Hachimura remained on the floor, without a single substitution. According to Elias Sports Bureau, no team has used only 5 players in one half of a playoff game since at least 1998. Highlighting just how rare this strategy was. Redick explained post-game that this wasn't a pre-planned tactic for the entire second half. He said he asked the group at the beginning of the fourth quarter how they were feeling, informing them they had 2 extra timeouts available if anyone needed a sub. Ultimately, he said he trusted them to speak up if they were tired because they were all in on staying on the floor together. He felt that group had played well and given enough effort to win. The Lakers did indeed start the second half with this lineup on a 14-0 run, seizing control of the game and building a lead that reached double digits. However, as the game wore on, particularly in the fourth quarter, the momentum swung back to Minnesota, and the Timberwolves' young superstar, Anthony Edwards, believes Redick's no-substitution strategy played directly into his hands. Edwards, who had a massive game, scoring 16 of his game-high 43 points in the fourth quarter, stated after the game, "I felt like they were gassed going down the stretch." He added that knowing the same players were on the floor continuously allowed him to just try to keep my foot on the pedal and keep going. Edwards' late-game surge was a key factor as Minnesota outscored the Lakers 32-19 in the fourth quarter. The Lakers' offensive execution in the fourth quarter was poor, shooting just 5 for 18 from the field in the period, including a dismal 3 for 9 in the final 5 minutes. However, the Lakers players themselves, including their stars, pushed back against the idea that fatigue was the reason for their struggles and the loss. LeBron James, who had another strong all-around performance with 27 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks, explicitly denied that tired legs were the cause of their missed shots. "We got some really good looks," James said, referencing specific missed layups by both him and Luka Doncic. "I don't think fatigue had anything to do with that. Just missing some point-blank shots. You know, we were getting into what we wanted to get into. We just weren't able to convert." Luka Doncic, who bounced back from a Game 3 stomach ailment to lead the Lakers with 38 points in Game 4, though only 7 in the fourth, echoed LeBron's sentiment, despite playing 46 minutes. Like LeBron, Doncic stated, "Fatigue shouldn't play any role in this. I played a lot of minutes, but that shouldn't play a role." He attributed the loss instead to the Timberwolves simply executing better offensively in the final minutes. Even reserve forward Dorian Finney-Smith, who was inserted into the starting lineup for the second half and played 41 minutes, agreed with the decision to stay in. "It's the playoffs," Finney-Smith said. "I don't think nobody wanted to come out the game anyway," adding that he doesn't think anyone will use playing the whole half as an excuse. The final minute of Game 4 was chaotic and featured several hotly debated officiating calls from both sides. With the Lakers trailing by 1, Doncic needed to call a timeout after falling in the backcourt, being guarded by Jaden McDaniels. Both Doncic and Coach Redick vehemently believed Doncic was tripped and should have been at the free throw line. Redick called it a blatant trip. After the timeout, the Lakers had a sideline inbounds play. James turned the ball over on the inbound pass, which was intended for Doncic in the frontcourt. James explained his decision not to pass to the backcourt was to avoid an 8-second violation with little time on the shot clock, but admitted if he could do it again, he'd prefer someone break open to the backcourt. Redick simply stated they didn't execute it. The most controversial call came with 10.7 seconds left. LeBron James attempted to strip the ball from Anthony Edwards, and it was initially ruled out of bounds on Edwards. Timberwolves coach Chris Finch challenged the call. After a lengthy review, the call was overturned, and a foul was whistled on LeBron James, with the officials determining he made contact with Edwards' wrist. James strongly disagreed, arguing his hand was part of the ball, and that play happens all the time, without a foul being called. However, Edwards was confident he was fouled and looked to Finch to use the challenge, calling it a great overturn by the refs. Edwards hit both free throws after the review, putting Minnesota up by 3. A lead the Lakers couldn't overcome after Austin Reeves' last-second three missed. So, the debate rages. Were the Lakers players genuinely gassed in the fourth quarter due to playing the entire second half without rest, leading to their poor shooting and execution late? Or were they simply missing open shots and getting out-executed by the Timberwolves? As LeBron and Doncic maintain, with fatigue not being the primary factor, Anthony Edwards clearly felt the former. While the Lakers players are publicly denying it, the shooting stats in the fourth quarter certainly suggest performance dropped off significantly. Regardless of the cause, Redick's highly unconventional strategy is the central point of contention following this loss. While the players publicly support their coach, the decision to ride the same 5 for 24 straight minutes in a playoff game, especially for a team whose depth has been questioned, is a gamble that many will continue to scrutinize after a close defeat that leaves the Lakers facing elimination. Now, down 3-1, the Los Angeles Lakers are on the very brink. Game 5 on Wednesday night in Los Angeles is win or go home. They must find a way to overcome the deficit, bounce back from this controversial loss, and silence the Timberwolves, or their season will be over. As Rui Hachimura stated after the game, expressing hope despite the dire situation, "We're going to get one. Yeah, we're going to get one. The Lakers will need to prove that in Game 5. Alright, the Los Angeles Lakers are now on the absolute brink of elimination after a tough 116-113 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 4 on Sunday, putting them in a daunting 3-1 series deficit. This game was a thriller, marked by a huge performance from Minnesota's young superstar and a highly unusual coaching decision by the Lakers that is sparking a lot of debate. Minnesota's Anthony Edwards was simply sensational. He dropped a game-high 43 points, including a dominant 16 points in the final quarter. After the game, Edwards had a pointed observation about the Lakers' energy levels, especially late in the game. He said, and I quote, "I felt like they were gassed going down the stretch. So just trying to keep my foot on the pedal and keep going." Edwards' comment directly relates to the controversial decision by Lakers head coach JJ Redick. For the entire second half of Game 4, Redick chose to keep the exact same 5 players on the court: LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Rui Hachimura. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, no team since at least 1998 has used only 5 players for an entire half in a playoff game. Redick explained it wasn't a planned move but that he trusted the players who said they were fine to stay in. The Lakers did start the third quarter with a strong 14-0 run. But the fourth quarter was a different story. With Minnesota outscoring the Lakers 32-19, the Lakers shot poorly in the fourth, especially in the final 5 minutes. However, Lakers players, including LeBron James and Luka Doncic, pushed back on the idea that fatigue was the reason for the offensive struggles. LeBron specifically mentioned missed point-blank layups by himself and Luka, saying he didn't think fatigue was the cause, but rather simply missing makeable shots they usually hit. Doncic echoed that sentiment, saying fatigue shouldn't play a role. The final minute of the game was filled with contentious moments. Both Luka and Redick felt that Doncic was tripped before a crucial timeout, arguing it should have been a foul call. Later, after a turnover by James, a pivotal play saw James called for a foul on Anthony Edwards after a challenge overturned the initial out-of-bounds call. James publicly disagreed with that foul call, citing the "hand is part of the ball" rule. Edwards, however, said he knew James fouled him and called it a great overturn by the refs after hitting the free throws that sealed the win. while the 5 Lakers players on the court said they were fine to play the whole half. The outcome and Edwards' comments have put a spotlight on Redick's unprecedented strategy and the Lakers' depth issues. Facing a 3-1 deficit, the Lakers will need to win 3 straight, starting with Game 5 on Wednesday, to avoid elimination. As Rui Hachimura stated with resolve, quote, "We're going to get one.